Thank you, Jess. It's Paul Rieckhoff, who's here now, host of the Independent Americans podcast, which, by the way, I've been reading is rocketing up those podcast lists. So congrats on that.
Thanks to the Connell McShane bump.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's what they call it, right? Let me play Caroline Leavitt for a moment in your briefing, because we're trying to figure out, where are we in all of this? Is it winding down? The president says, oh, it can be over soon. And sometimes now there's more troops going. Here's what Leavitt said earlier.
We feel good about the prospects of a deal. The president mentioned that in his interview yesterday, and it's obviously in the best interest of Iran to meet the president's demands. I think he's made his red lines in these negotiations very clear to the other side, and so we are continuing to see how these conversations go.
All right. What's your sense?
Another wild Wednesday. It's not over till it's over. You know, on the way in, someone just said to me, hey, should I buy my flight to Florida now or should I wait? I said, I don't think gas prices are going down anytime soon, so buy it now. It might be worse in 2 weeks. And I think that's where the world is right now. I think Japan is sending $10 billion in aid to countries in the region because they're worried about getting choked off. The entire energy supply around the world is being disrupted. And you'll know when it's over because your gas prices will start to go down. And now Trump's sending in more troops. 10,000 are going to implement this blockade. And 41% of our Navy is going to be involved in this operation right now, which I think is very concerning because this has an opportunity to become a sucking chest wound for our military, to pull in so many resources that were compromised in other areas. But I don't think it's going to be over anytime soon.
So on the telestrator, we had the blockade. We've been showing this over the last couple of days. So the U.S. comes in here and, tries to cut things off. So the ships that would normally be coming through here, they're going to meet a U.S. ship if they come. But Trump set this up. It was, and I said this the other day on the show, when I started talking to people about it who were skeptical, there was a little bit more optimism. There was a little bit more openness to this idea. People, well, maybe this will work. Maybe this will cut off Iran economically. Maybe then they will make concessions. But the problem with it is, when will they do that, right? How long will they hang on? And to your point, how much pain can we take in the interim?
Yeah, I mean, Iran's basically got the world's gas station held hostage. Right. And until all of their military threats are eliminated, they're going to be able to continue to do that. So no matter how much Hegseth or anybody else calls this success, Iran still has significant military capacity. And they don't need a whole lot to blow up ships in the Strait. And that's the choke point, that until it's secured, this is going to be viewed by many as a loss and definitely not a victory. So Iran's still very formidable. They've still got the regime in place. They've still got enriched uranium somewhere. And they've still got the capacity to blow up the Strait. And now they're threatening to expand it, to go into other areas. And I think, again, the entire military cannot secure this until they reduce the number of incoming that are coming from other places. And they haven't been able to do that.
You mentioned Hegseth, and I know you're not a big fan because we've talked about him since he's been in the position as the Secretary of Defense. There's now this movement among Democrats. Some Democrat today actually introduced articles of impeachment against him. There's this movement to try to get him out. I don't know that that goes anywhere, but does it highlight something? What do you think his future holds?
I think it's in the hands of Donald Trump. And, Noam is out and Bondi's out, and I think Hegseth would probably be next on the list, especially if this doesn't get resolved, if there's not a victory, if he needs someone to pin it on. Hegseth is really unpopular. I mean, both parties have been criticizing him. He's got falling stock within the Pentagon. Our allies don't trust him, and he seems to be focused on, fighting NATO more than he is focused on Putin. So I don't think his stock is on the rise, and I think he's very much in the crosshairs. Some of this stuff has validity, like Signalgate, right? His potentially disclosing classified information on an app. I mean, that is worthy of investigation and potentially impeachment. If he broke a rule that would have got a private put into jail, then he should be out as well.
See, that's the point. If it's Signalgate, okay, let's have the discussion in the hearings. If it's the other stuff, I think you made the point. If the U.S. isn't accomplishing its objectives, then that's on the commander-in-chief, isn't it? But maybe he points at someone else.
Yeah, it is, but he's not going to fire himself, right? And I think he's got a history of turning on people within his own administration. We've seen that recently, and he wants to change the narrative. Yeah. And he could put somebody in that's less bombastic. I mean, we haven't mentioned Markwayne Mullin's name in a couple of days, right? That's probably good for ICE, and that's good for Trump. If you remove Hegseth, who is a very bombastic guy who loves the cameras, it removes some of the attention and gives you a bit of a honeymoon period, which is what he might be able to need right now. And they've talked about Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, who may be in an internal conflict with Hegseth. That's someone to watch, and potentially someone in the Senate that he could put in there that would immediately get more respect than Hegseth.
So I'm going to back off all of this stuff just for a couple of minutes, and the reason is sometimes you start to think to yourself, like, what's the big story of the week? Like, if we're 6 months out and they look back on this week, what's the most important thing that happened this week? And I don't know if it's this, but I do know it's really interesting. You follow Ukraine closely. You're founder of a group called American Veterans for Ukraine. Well, Volodymyr Zelensky came out and made this announcement that the Ukrainian forces were able to capture an enemy position with no humans, with just robots. And the reason I say it's important is because when we're having these discussions about war and peace and the future of war, this was the video that they put out, Zelensky was in it, and he's showing all this stuff. It's like, all right, well, this could be the future. So you start to say to yourself, well, I guess that's good. There's no humans. We can do all of that. Or is it more incentive for countries to go to war because they know they wouldn't lose humans? But is this the future?
I think you're right. I think this is maybe one of the biggest stories of the entire week, right? I mean, they took an enemy position without humans,
crazy.
Right? This is Terminator stuff. And this is not just the future. This is right now. And I think what you saw with Zelensky making this presentation behind what they're calling like an arsenal of democracy, the production, the innovation, the capacity, that is inspiring. It's important. And I think it's also in the interest of American national security. We need that kind of innovation. We need people who are on the front lines who are testing the most modernized equipment available. And robots taking a position is very significant. And it's not just the future. This is present in the same way drones are as well. I think America's waking up to not just what the future of warfare look like, but what the present of warfare looks like. We've been insulated from it, and we need the people who are at the front lines, especially on innovation. We also need it for our industry and for our economy. And that's a long tail of this that I think more folks are waking up to.
Well, yeah. I mean, Driscoll, who you mentioned earlier, we had him on. He pushes a lot of this stuff, Dan Driscoll. But so your point is it's a good thing because like I could see both sides. I could see, well, all right, this is great because there's no human beings obviously losing their lives, but there could be human beings in the surrounding areas if we have more wars because of this. Like in other words, if countries are like, let's do this, why not? You know, I mean, will it make war more likely?
It removes the human cost of war, right? At least in that instance, right? You can send a robot instead of an 18-year-old soldier, right? And I think that will be attractive. But I also think it shows you the kind of capacity you need to have to be able to battle on this environment, right? The Ukrainians are at the front line. This is why I think they should be accepted into NATO, not just because it's good for them, but because it's good for us. We need people who are constantly innovating, and they are really pushing the pace in a way that America used to do in front. We're still doing that, but we're not engaging at the extent they are. So it's like a giant testing area, a giant R&D environment that we need to be able to take lessons from so we can be safer, not just overseas, but here at home, because drones are the threat. They are not just the future threat, they are the current threat, and nobody's better at drones and drone elimination than the Ukrainians.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. A lot we can learn. A lot everybody can learn, given what's going on in Iran. All right, it's fascinating stuff for what it's worth. And again, it might be the big story of the week once we look back. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Rieckhoff, Independent Americans, that's the podcast. Tax day, all right? And as Americans finish filing their taxes today, the White House has been out and really leaning in